In the bustling streets of Cairo, Egypt, Omaima Nelson entered the world amidst chaos and uncertainty. Born into a family struggling to make ends meet, her childhood was marked by hardship and deprivation. Omaima parents, burdened by poverty and despair, could offer little in the way of comfort or security. Her father was said to be a very abusive alcoholic. He was physically and sexually abusive to his wife, as well as to Omaima. Omaima was forced to have a female circumcision by her father when she was 6 years old. As a result, Omaima learned early on to fend for herself, navigating the rough streets of Cairo with a resilience beyond her years. But amidst the darkness of her early years, Omaima harbored dreams of a better life, a life far removed from the poverty and despair that surrounded her. From a young age, she possessed a fiery determination to escape her circumstances and carve out a future filled with promise and opportunity. Her chance came when she met an American tourist who wandered into her neighborhood one fateful day. Drawn to Omaima's striking beauty and spirited demeanor, he offered her a glimpse of a world she had only ever dreamed of. A world of luxury, abundance, and endless possibilities. Without hesitation, Omaima seized the opportunity, leaving behind the familiar streets of Cairo for the bright lights of Los Angeles. It was a journey that would change her life forever, propelling her into a world of glamour and excess that seemed almost surreal. Yet beneath the veneer of glitz and glamour, Omaima soon discovered that the American dream came with its own set of challenges. In the quiet suburb of Costa Mesa, California, Omaima Nelson was anything but an ordinary resident. Her captivating beauty, coupled with an air of mystery, stirred whispers among the neighbors. Some admired her elegance, while others couldn't shake off an unsettling feeling in her presence. Omaima, with her striking green eyes and raven hair, seemed to have an allure that drew people in. Yet beneath her enchanting facade lay a complexity that few dared to unravel. Omaima soon discovered that the American dream came with its own set of challenges. Her relationship with her American benefactor quickly soured, descending into a toxic cycle of abuse and manipulation. But Omaima refused to be a victim. With steely determination, she set out to reclaim control of her destiny, using her charm and charisma to forge a new path forward. It was during this tumultuous period of her life that Omaima met William Nelson, a charismatic entrepreneur with a magnetic personality and a troubled past of his own. Despite their vastly different backgrounds, there was an instant connection between them, a spark that ignited into a fiery romance that seemed destined to defy the odds. William Nelson was a man of contrasts. Handsome and charming on the surface, he harbored demons that even he couldn't tame. Born into a middle-class family in the Midwest, William had always been a dreamer. He had an entrepreneurial spirit and a magnetic personality that drew people to him like moths to a flame. It was this charisma that caught her eye when they first met at a social gathering in Los Angeles. Despite their vastly different backgrounds, there was an instant connection between William and Omaima. He was captivated by her exotic beauty and her air of mystery, while she was drawn to his confidence and ambition. It wasn't long before they fell deeply in love and embarked on a whirlwind romance. For a while, their life together seemed like a fairy tale. They traveled the world, indulging in life's luxuries and basking in each other's company. William doted on Omaima, showering her with expensive gifts and lavishing her with affection. But beneath the surface, cracks began to appear in their seemingly perfect marriage. William had a dark side that he kept hidden from the world, a temper that flared at the slightest provocation and a penchant for controlling behavior. As their relationship progressed, William's behavior grew increasingly erratic. He became possessive of Omaima, jealous of any attention she received from other men. He would fly into rages over perceived slights, leaving Omaima walking on eggshells around him. Despite the warning signs, Omaima remained devoted to her husband, believing that love would conquer all. But as William's behavior spiraled out of control, she found herself trapped in a nightmare from which she couldn't escape. It was during one of William's violent outbursts that tragedy struck, shattering their fragile illusion of happiness into a million jagged pieces. In a fit of rage, he attacked Omaima, leaving her bruised and battered, her spirit broken. But Omaima refused to be a victim. With a newfound sense of resolve, she made the difficult decision to leave William, determined to reclaim control of her own life. She filed for divorce and cut all ties with her abusive husband, vowing never to look back. Yet, as Omaima would soon discover, escaping the past was not so easy. The scars of her tumultuous marriage ran deep, haunting her every waking moment and threatening to consume her from within. As for William, his demons continued to torment him long after Omaima had gone. He descended into a downward spiral of alcohol and self-destruction, haunted by the memories of what he had lost. And then, one fateful day, tragedy struck once again. In a moment of madness, fueled by a cocktail of rage and desire, Omaima committed a heinous act that would forever stain her name in infamy, a gruesome murder that shocked the nation and sent shockwaves rippling through the community. The trial that followed was a spectacle of horror and intrigue, as the prosecution painted Omaima as a cold and calculating killer driven by greed and obsession, while the defense sought to portray her as a victim of circumstances beyond her control. The trial of Omaima Nelson gripped the nation, captivating audiences with its shocking revelations and chilling details. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation as Omaima Nelson, once a figure of allure and mystery, now sat stoically in the defendant's chair, her striking green eyes betraying little emotion. The prosecution wasted no time in laying out their case, presenting a mountain of evidence against her. Witness after witness took the stand, recounting tales of Omaima's manipulation and deceit. Former lovers spoke of her charm and beauty, but also of her insatiable appetite for control. They described how she would lure them in with promises of passion and affection, only to reveal her true nature, a cold and calculating predator. But it was the grisly details of the murder that truly shocked the courtroom. The prosecution presented forensic evidence showing how Omaima had meticulously dismembered her husband's body, leaving behind a trail of carnage that seemed straight out of a horror movie. As the trial wore on, Omaima's defense team fought tooth and nail to portray her in a different light. They delved into her troubled past, highlighting the abuse and trauma she had endured at the hands of her husband. They argued that she had been driven to madness by years of torment, and that her actions were the result of a desperate bid for survival. Yet, despite their best efforts, the evidence against Omaima was overwhelming. The jury listened intently as the prosecution delivered their closing arguments, painting a damning portrait of a woman consumed by greed and driven to commit unspeakable acts. In the end, the jury deliberated for hours before delivering their verdict guilty on all counts. Omaima Nelson showed little reaction as the sentence was read aloud, her fate sealed by the weight of her own actions. As she was led away from the courtroom, her once charmed life now reduced to a grim existence behind bars, she could only wonder how it had all gone so horribly wrong. And so, the story of Omaima Nelson came to a tragic end, a cautionary tale of the dangers that lurk beneath the surface of even the most enchanting facades. A reminder that sometimes the darkness within can be more terrifying than anything the world has to offer. After Omaima Nelson was sentenced for the murder of her husband, William Nelson, she was incarcerated in a California state prison. Nelson's exact circumstances following her sentencing have not been widely publicized, as details of inmates' lives within the prison system are typically kept private for security reasons. It is known that Nelson's attempts to appeal her sentence were unsuccessful, and she continues to serve her prison term for the crime she committed. Nelson remains behind bars, her case serving as a chilling reminder of the consequences of extreme violence and criminal behavior.